My take home from Helpmate, the movie, is: 1, have good friends. Always communicate, as communication is key. There is no shame in seeking help, like seeing a counselor, talking to a friend, letting people in into what is happening. What, you know, something is wrong with you and you don't want to talk to somebody about it. Let people in. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are reviewing a movie titled Helpmate, and this movie is produced by Desperanza Media. First off, I really want to appreciate the cast and crew. The characters in this movie was so amazing. Like, each character is a bomb and you get to learn something. It's filled with so many lessons. Even if you're single or married, you should see this movie. So back to our movie review. We are reviewing a movie titled Helpmate. In this movie, we have two couples. Two couples. One is the Yama and the other one are the Emmanuels, right? Mr. and Mrs. Emmanuel and Mr. and Mrs. Yama. The first couple got married. Uche got married to Mojisola. So first off, is an intertribal marriage. It's not like Igbo getting married to Igbo, Yoruba getting married to Yoruba. It's an intertribal marriage. And when they got married, Uche thought he knew everything he needed. Like, he was ready to get into this marriage. He felt like everything. He has seen a counselor, he knew everything he was supposed to know, and he was set for the marriage. And it was so beautiful. Maybe it was more of Mr. and Mrs. as a playing couple again in the movie. Like, it was so beautiful. And we have Uzor Arukwe as Emmanuel and Tessie in the movie. In the first scene, Emmanuel was with Uche, and Uche was so excited, telling his friend that he wants to propose to Mojisola and they'll be getting married. And one thing that struck me in the first scene was when Emmanuel was telling Uche that it is not as rosy in the inside as it is in the outside. But I think Uche was really sure that he was ready for the marriage, as he has abstained from sex before marriage. He has seen counselor, he has read books, and I think that's something wonderful. They got right into it, they got married, and it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And along the line, Mojisola started complaining of how Uche was not orderly in the house. Like, he bathes, he throws his socks is somewhere, his towel is somewhere. It's just scattered. He was not orderly. She didn't want to complain. She just wanted to be this submissive wife, this good wife, a new bride, new wife. She doesn't want to complain. She doesn't want to be seen as a nag. So she just felt she could cope with it. She felt she could cope with it. Along the line, she spoke with her friend Tessie, and I think Tessie had seen a counselor with her husband before, because it was at the end of the movie we got to know that she has seen a counselor. There was a time she and her husband had ish and they had to see a counselor. When Moji told Tessie about it, Tessie already knew that this little thing can really escalate in future, and she spoke to her husband about it. Like, I think Moji cannot take this for long, even though she's trying to be the submissive wife, the good wife that don't want to complain. And they went to visit the family. While having a dinner, they stylishly spoke about this thing. They used another narrative entirely to talk about it, but Uche still didn't get it. I think it was more of his response that made Moji not to talk. If his response would have been maybe they will have to communicate or something, I feel Moji would have spoken to him about it. But Uche said he doesn't like a nagging wife, that if he, thank God he got married to someone who gives him peace, and if he was with a nagging wife, that he would run away. So I think that was why Moji did not really talk about it again. Like, I do want to talk about it before, and this is also your opinion about it. So that's why she didn't talk about it. Uche was this man who wants to be the head. He does not want help. Like, I want to foot the bills. Don't foot the bills around the house. I'm going to pay for the groceries. I'm going to pay. I must pay for the house rent as the man, I must do this as the man, I must do this. And Moji was this, on the other hand, was a lady who wants to help around the house, like who wants to be financially responsible too. She doesn't want all the load to be on her husband's head. But I think they didn't even discuss this. First off, I don't think they discussed this during courtship. Along the line, Uche lost his job and he started finding it difficult to foot a lot of bills. He thought the best thing to do was cutting down on the expense, and which I feel is reasonable. But Moji was ready to help. She's a helpmate. She was his partner and she was ready to help, but Uche did not want all of that at all. Cases where she pays for something, Uche wants to refund. She does this around the house, Uche wants to refund. And she didn't like it, but she still did not speak about it. She didn't communicate with him about it. Things got rough. Uche couldn't pay for house rent, and Moji, as the good wife that she was, paid for the rent. I thought Uche was supposed to be happy that my wife bailed me out in time of need, but he was angry, like, why should you pay for the house rent? But it got to a stage where Moji got tired and she started complaining about these things. But Uche was not going to take it lightly at all. He said, when did you start nagging? You were not supposed to be a nagging wife. When did you start nagging? And along the line, they had big issues. But Uche was now feeling like maybe it's because he lost his job and she has started complaining because he does not have money again. But that was not the case entirely. It got to a stage that their marriage almost hit the rock even before a year. Their friend, which is the other couple, Tessie and Emmanuel, advised them to see a counselor. But Uche, as the Igbo man that he is, said no. Why would he see a counselor? Why would he carry his matter to meet somebody else to resolve for him? He didn't want to go initially, but he got to a point. Moji told him that they have to see a counselor, and he later agreed. They got to see the counselor, and funny enough, it was these little things that were causing problem in the family. And what I learned from this movie is there is always two people who are coming from two different backgrounds. And this is coming from this background, this is coming from this background. They are two different people entirely coming together as one, and we have two different behaviors, and this really come to play in this movie. It was then they got to know Moji was she grew up with a single mother, and the mother has always foot the bills. It was only her and her mother, and they were comfortable enough. She always foot the bills, and she feel like it was something normal for her to foot the bills. But Uche did not understand this way. And Uche, on the other hand, who was being the gra Igbo man, was somebody who was coming from a background where his mother treated his father in a very bad way, because he had an accident and there was no way he could provide money as he does when he was on his feet. So that really affected Uche, and he felt like every other woman would be the same, and if Moji Sola started footing the bees, she would disrespect him and all of that, which was not the case. Seeing the counselor shaping their mind differently, he got to see Moji Sola in a different way. They got talking, and Moji Sola got to tell him that, I don't like the way you are not orderly at home. I don't like the fact that you come back from work and your socks is on the gas, or you are pressing the toothpaste from the middle. That's issues that you hear them and you're like, these are little things, but at the end of the day, they are very, very big issues in marriage. The counselor spoke with them, and at the end of the day, they settled, they got talking, and Uche was willing to change. That was why I said, stop hoping your partner will change when you don't even talk to them about it. They don't know why they want to change. Why do they want to change? They don't know. But you just want them to change. they grew up like this, that's been their lifestyle. If you don't communicate, that's why we say communication is key. Learn to communicate in relationship, in marriage, in friendship. Communication is key. And when communicating, communicate in the right way. And thirdly, have good friends. They have good friends in their marriage. People who would tell them the truth. People who will tell them the truth. You are doing this wrong. You are doing it in the right way. See this person. I think this has gone beyond us. I think you need to see a counselor. I think you need to talk to this person. Have good friends in marriage. And I think this marriage opened I got to see a different thing entirely. Like, marriage is not bed of roses. I think marriage is different from courtship. Is a different thing entirely. You know, sometimes during courtship, people don't get to tell their partners that I don't like this thing you are doing. And maybe I feel like people still hide. Like, they hide their behaviors during relationship. I just want to be this good person. I don't want him to see him this way. But you get tired because forever is too long to keep quiet. Forever is too long to pretend. Talk to your partner about the things you feel like you're not comfortable with. Communicate rightly. You know when to communicate. You know when they are in the mood for you to communicate. And it's not like you are communicating, you are shouting. No, that's not the right way to communicate. Please see this movie. You need to see this movie. If you are single, if you are in courtship, please see this movie. Thank you. I really appreciate. Please do well to subscribe to my channel, and please, I need your comments. Please comment on my videos, like, comment, share. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Bye.